Hey guys, welcome to another Knife Making Tuesday. I'm your host John Grimsmo, and this week I don't have a lot for you, I gotta admit. But got some shop updates, and I do have some stuff I've been working on that I want to show. But yeah, there's a few things I definitely want to show you guys. First of all, old compressor. I got this thing used for about $100 on Craigslist. And it's worked for the past year. You know, I can't really complain. Runs on 120. My new one, boom, just got that a couple days ago. 240 volts of 11 CFM at 90 PSI, 60-gallon tank awesomeness. My local TSC store, farm supply basically, had these guys on blowout, and so I got it for 35% off. Cannot complain. Retail $800, got it for $500. Love it. So I got to get the electrician to come in tomorrow because it runs on 240 volt. He put in that breaker box over there when I got the Tormac, but he only put in plugs on this side of the wall. And I want to put the air compressor over here, so it's sort of away from me. And I'm not sure how loud it's going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit quieter than the old one. So if it is still quite loud, we'll build some sort of box for it. Keep the noise down a little bit. Egg cartons and all that. So yeah, I got to get the electrician to put some wiring here somewhere. Hey guys, so I'm in my office right now trying to figure out how to get the most out of this piece of damascus. This stuff is very expensive, so you want to get as much as you possibly can out of one piece. So here in my CAD program I've laid out the piece of damascus. It's about 15 inches long by 1.8 inches wide. And you can see I've been able to stuff 3 blades and 4 pocket clips into this piece as tightly as possible, and here's a little circle that dictates an 1/8 inch end mill, which is pretty small to be doing all this with, but it'll be fine. I'll just cut really slow and make it work, because using a bigger end mill just wastes more metal. So I'll cut everything out with an 1/8 inch end mill and make it work. And then over here I have a bunch of thumb studs. I'm going to try a new way to make thumb studs out of flat material as opposed to out of round material. These aren't actually finished yet. But, yeah. Pretty excited to try that out. So that's that. I'm just going to write some code to cut everything up and then head out to the garage and do it. As you can see from the CAD files, I tried to stuff as much onto this piece as possible, and it worked. So I got 4 pocket clips, 3 blades. A blade will basically go like that. And I've also got a whole bunch of thumb studs. Now I'm doing thumb studs a completely new way, same for pocket clips. I figured out how to make them from flat bar, basically. Drill a hole, mill it to the right diameter, thread mill it, profile it. Because I was using the vacuum table, I couldn't profile all the way through. But then I can break these off, because there's about 10 thou left. So I can break those off and then thread them into another fixture from the back side, so that they'll thread onto the fixture kind of like that, and then I can machine the top of them. That will be in a future video, hopefully very soon, within a week or two. I'll show how I do that. Same story with the pocket clips. I was able to successfully thread mill all of these holes into stainless steel. Very excited that I finally got thread milling nailed. If you saw my video from a couple weeks ago where I absolutely failed at thread milling, basically I was trying to do tiny external thread milling, and that's just stupid, because I was trying to make a screw by thread milling, and that's stupid. Use a lathe. But for internal thread milling, if you get the code just right, it works like a charm. You can see those threads inside there. They are awesome. And I've also changed the design of the clip to use 2 little 1/16 inch pins to keep it positionally stable. Because even on my knife, the clip can move a little bit, and it's tight. I mean, it's hard for me to do this right now, so it doesn't really happen during normal use, but just the way the screws are in there and all that. But using pins like that will add a lot more stability to the clip, and it just won't ever get loose and wiggle like that. So, like I said, I left about 10 thou, and as you can tell, I'm able to Superman these things apart. Probably going to cut myself doing this one-handed on camera. I've done that before in like week, I don't know, 15 or something. Success. So yeah. So you can see I left just enough room to get the pocket clip in there and the blade all the way around. Just enough. I think I planned it perfectly. So, what next? Eric's been a madman at sanding all these blades and Scotch-Briting them and finishing them up real nice. Over here we got our Scotch-Brite set up. If you work with metal and you don't have one of these, you are missing out on life. This is a 6-inch 3M Scotch-Brite wheel. And we've had this thing for about 10 months now. You can see we've worn a good radius into it. That's okay, it still works awesome. Yeah, it's probably down to about 5.5 inches now, but man, this thing is just so amazing. Aluminum, stainless, titanium, steel, it doesn't care. It just loves it. So, Eric's been, you can see some of these blades, we had it undercut the corner rounder up here where my thumbnail is. Sort of caused some problems, so we got to blend that out, sand it down a little bit, and then blend it in with the Scotch-Brite. And then all these jimping holes here. I'm not a fan of super aggressive jimping. I know a lot of people are, but so what? This is my knife. It's going to be exactly the way I want to make it. So I make them pretty aggressive right off the machine, but then we kind of blend them in so that they're still there and functional, but not grippy, like not super ouchy. Because I like knives that are smooth and sleek and functional and comfortable. Something you just want to keep in your hand all day long and flip and fondle and have fun with and show off. That's kind of my idea of a cool knife. So yeah, Eric's got a whole bunch of blades he's been working on. There you can see all the milling marks left over. I mean, we got them down pretty tight, so there are very little milling marks. However, they're still there, and that's perfect Scotch-Brite territory. Here at the top, I just put one on that has been Scotch-Brite already, and hopefully you can see the difference there. Looks like those top two have been. So it does make a huge difference. Same for the flipper jimping. Yeah, those top two have been, and the bottom two haven't, and you can tell the difference. So yeah. I don't know if you can notice, but I'm just kind of rambling. Looking for something to talk about. Alright, here's something cool. These are Kyocera O-flute. O-flute or zero flute? I think it's O-flute. That's the designation. I should probably put this thing on a tripod. Make my life a lot easier, but... Okay, I got these guys on eBay. Thanks to a tip I got from another machinist. These are called single flute endmills. Now most endmills have 2 or 4 flutes. As you can tell, these just have a single flute. The yellow ones are 1/16 inch, and the green ones, I guess, are 39 thou. 0394. I think that's a metric equivalent. And single flute endmills are great for plastic as well as aluminum sometimes. Now I'm going to be using them for nylon, because if you follow my stuff, you know that I use ball bearings on the pivots of my knives, and I'm going to start making my own ball bearings, my own cages, from a sheet of nylon. And I've done some testing with this, but with a 4-flute end mill, it leaves a terrible surface finish. And so apparently using a single flute end mill makes a much cleaner cut and much better surface finish, and I wish I had one here to show you, but it's inside my office. So that's the end of that. Alright, what else can I ramble about? So we have 65 blades in total to make. Most of them are done. There's those 3 Damascus ones I'm ready to machine soon. I'll do that first thing in the morning. And then there are 5 more blades here that are going to be my left dizzles. So the first operation roughs it out. So after the first one is roughed out, this one's going to fall off. And then I'll stop the code, I'll pull this off, and I'll bolt it here. And that way I can just run 5 of them in one setup, as opposed to doing this last guy by itself. So to do a lefty code, pretty much everything is the same except just flipped. I'm making a true left-handed knife with the thumb stud on the left-hand side and the lock bar on the left hand and everything. And it's more work than I thought it was going to be to flip all the codes, because I mean, if you don't know much about machining, this doesn't just happen by itself. You know, for a knife to become a blade, or for a piece of metal to become a blade, you know, I have to choose the outer profile for all kinds of different roughing, semi-finishing, finishing passes, drill, blah blah blah. Every single part that's machined on this has to be specifically chosen. It takes 10 tools to do this to a blade. And pretty much every one of those operations has to be done again on a mirror image of the blade. So basically like that. So I have to choose all the new tool paths, all the 10 tools, and code them and program them to do the same thing again. The only thing I could reuse was these 3D milling, rough it out, you know, the bevels. But that's cool. So yeah, tomorrow morning I'm going to finish up the Damascus ones and these lefties, and then all the blades are done. Like I said, Eric's been scotch brighting them and sanding them, and then we'll get them off to heat treat very, very soon. He's been making really good use of the disc sander. For the last batch we had some problems getting this to work, and it turns out we were just using crappy sandpaper. Sort of no-name stuff, cheap, you know, it looked like a good deal, so I got a box. I probably got a box of 50 sheets for about 25 bucks or something. And that sucks. So there are two kinds of sandpaper that are supposed to rock the house. Well, one specifically, but I won't get into too much detail here. Maybe Eric will in the next video. But this stuff, Norton Black Ice, is supposed to be the shizzle for doing blades. It's meant for wet sanding on automotive paint. So you'll find it in automotive paint stores. You know, the people that actually sell the supplies for painting cars. Norton Black Ice, wicked awesome. I got a box of 50 sheets for I think $42. You can get them cheaper online. That was local prices. So this is 600. And I also got, I was looking for 220, but they didn't have it in Norton. So they had 3M wet dry 220. I mean, anything really good brand name is going to work well. The Black Ice is supposed to be awesome, but so Eric's been going through these, and he was saying something like he can get about 3 blades per sheet before it starts to take longer than it should. Like, you start to notice how long it's taking. And yes, it still feels very sharp and it still works, but he said it goes from, you know, taking a few minutes a blade to 5 or 10 minutes a blade. And at that point you just pull it off, toss it, and put a new sheet on. And it's worth it to go through sheets, you know, to save the time, so that you're not just putting excess heat into the blade. But yeah, I'm sure when he gets back, he'd like to explain a little bit about that. So, I don't know if I'll get to film it, but another thing I got to do in the next day or two is make my handles fixtures. That's what all these guys are for, as well as this lower one. So the handles fixture is going to be pretty cool. Handles and clips. Just like the pocket clips that are threaded in from the backside, the handles are also going to be threaded in from the backside so that they get sucked down to the fixture, or threaded down to the fixture really nicely. And that way the handles stay totally flat, and I can do all my topside machining in one operation. Which is kind of a little kooky way to do it, but I'm pretty excited about it actually. So I'm pretty sure that'll be next week's video. I should have that done by then. Anywho, that's about it for now. Maybe I'll film something more in the morning, but if not, yeah, it's more of just an update video rather than, you know, watch me make this cool thing. But something's better than nothing, so